of 1955, Rosa Parks is sitting on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, and she will not be moved to the back. Mrs. Parks worked as an advocate for people who were in deep trouble. One of those she supported was a woman named Recy Taylor. I believe that Recy Taylor was on her mind when she would not move. Recy Taylor was brought up in Abbeville, Alabama, and when she was a young married woman in 1944, she attended an evening church service. Walking out the doors of that church into the darkness of a night in the country, her life changed forever. On her way home, she was abducted by several white men, blindfolded and violated by all of them, and left on the side of a road. When the men dropped her off, they told her not to say anything about what they had done or they would kill her. And Recy Taylor would not be silent. And her insistence on telling what happened and demanding justice has been called an underpinning of the civil rights movement. 2 juries refused to prosecute those men. None of the men who hurt her were sent to prison. In contrast, in unbelievable injustice, she lived in Abbeville, where those men lived, for 20 years after that night. And she felt fear herself, that her standing for her own justice would bring a violent death by the hands of those men who had violated her. I imagine her with the night gathering around her in her family's home. There are sounds outside, crickets chirping, rustling outside a window. Were the men returning? Was someone going to hurt her family as they were promising? Her deep faith and prayers into that frightening darkness sustained her, and she continued to call for sweet justice, even under the threat of death. Finally, in 2011, at the age of 91, Mrs. Taylor received an apology from the state of Alabama and from the mayor of Abbeville. At last, she felt a small part of that justice flow like water through that land. Today, we celebrate Recy Taylor's courage to call for justice and her great patience and faith to live beautifully until that day. For Recy Taylor.
As are